So, is this the year you've resolved to change your career? If so, you might take a little inspiration from Emma Rosen.
She spent a year trying out 25 different occupations to see which made her the happiest. Before we speak to Emma, let's hear about some of the jobs that you'd rather forget about.
Working in a pub on Christmas Eve, that was pretty bad, because you see everyone and getting drunk and then you're not.
2 days I worked in a dairy and my job was pulling the 4-pint milk bottles off the conveyor belt, but they came off too fast, so they just all fell onto the floor.
I worked in the kitchens of a hospital and it was really hot summer and it was just absolutely disgusting, and I was just cleaning and cooking for 2 months.
Working in a shop after Christmas in the January sales, obviously it's non-stop, it's packed, and you don't get a break.
It was a recycling company and we had to get rid of old shoes and clothes, like really smelly, dark place, and you get put in a container. Like I just did it for a day and never went back.
Hospital porter when I was a student. It was just very repetitious, and obviously you're just behind the scenes, so nobody sees what you do.
I don't think I've enjoyed any job.
Emma Rosen is here. So Emma did, 25 careers in a year. You tried out 25 different ones. You had a good job before this year and decided to give it all up because?
So I was working in a public sector job before that, but I spent a year working in that, and I just kind of realised that actually this isn't something I'm sure I want to pursue yet. I'm not sure it fits what I'm looking for, but it left me not realising what it is that I did want to do, which led to trying so many different jobs.
So, the brief list is archaeology, photography, property development, farming. How about farming? How'd that go?
That was one of the best placements that I did, actually. So I found the job on Twitter. I put out a tweet saying that I'd like to work on a farm. I didn't know anybody that did that. And an alpaca farmer from Cornwall got back to me and asked if I'd like to come down and visit the farm. So I spent a week trying out everything that she did. And one of the interesting things about it was kind of challenging the assumptions that we have about different types of jobs. So with farming, I kind of had in mind animal husbandry, or kind of traditional jobs. But obviously what I quite quickly realised was that you need to be an entrepreneur to make money as a farmer in the 21st century, kind of learning all about business management and website design and supply chain management all as a farmer.
And tell us about, we were speaking to various people talking about their worst jobs and why they thought that they were their worst jobs. Was there one that you really, over the 25, you really didn't like?
It wasn't so much about not enjoying the job, about more than realising that it just wasn't right for me and kind of learning what my strengths and my weaknesses were. So publishing for me was one that I just wasn't very good at it. I'm absolutely terrible at spotting the really small details, so I'm very dyslexic, and so spell checking and things like that was just not my strength. And so realising that actually that wasn't right for me, and therefore kind of playing to my strengths in other jobs was one of the big things that came out of the year.
Sometimes doing a really awful job can be quite helpful.
Absolutely.
Because it can make you realise that, when you do find something you really like, how lucky you are. And a lot of, have you ever had a really awful job that you've genuinely hated, that is massively dull? To be honest, a lot of these jobs are quite interesting jobs.
Well, of course.
Counter-terrorism police unit, interior designer, explorer. You've kind of gone for the interesting stuff. Did you do any really dull ones?
I think, again, it was things that I was... the whole point was I wanted to try things that I'd always dreamed of doing since I was a small child, and to try sort of challenge some of the assumptions that you've grown up with of things not being real jobs, kind of realising that actually somebody somewhere must do them, which was kind of the whole point of the project. But yeah, there were definitely some that were more perhaps engaging than others. But again, that was why I wanted to try and figure that out for myself.
What do you talk about in the book is about millennials particularly, and the fact that maybe in the future, not many people will have so-called jobs for life.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think that is a good thing, actually?
Personally, yes, I do. So the average millennial will have 5 career changes over the course of their working life. We'll be working well into our 70s. Our careers are likely to be ultra-marathons. Therefore, I think we need the skills to be able to change careers with ease, to be able to upskill and retrain. I think human skills are particularly important as well, to be able to easily mix into a new team, as well as obviously the technical skills that come along with automation and AI.
Have you come to a conclusion?
So for me, I found that I want a portfolio career, so the idea of having multiple careers at the same time through part-time or contract freelance work. So now, obviously, I work as a writer, as an author, I also work as a public speaker, and I'm launching my own business to kind of help other young people get work experience placements and figure out what it is that they want to do.
How do you manage to take a year off from, I mean, presumably, were any of them paid or not?
Yes, no, the majority covered all of my expenses and several did pay.
Right.
But I did spend the year before saving up everything that I possibly could, which was originally going towards a house deposit, but got repurposed, let's say. And then I also worked part-time throughout as a freelance writer and doing little bits and pieces for several of the jobs that I was working for.
If you want to know more, thank you very much. The book is called Radical Sabbatical.
That is all we've got time for here on Breakfast this morning.